it should be very clear. It should be very clear that what used to be called the Republican Party, the American Fascist Party, is going to do nothing to remove this fucking traitor from office. Nothing. Nothing. And there's enough time left between now and the November elections for Trump to appoint yet another Supreme Court justice. And these filthy fucking Republicans are going to allow it to happen. I understand that Pence, that little prick, tweeted at some point today about how the president has displayed once again his insistence on protecting and upholding the United States of America and the people who live here. Pence, don't say it, Mike, because your monitors at the National Security Agency will swoop down. Hi, guys, fuck you. The NSA people will swoop down if I say what really is on my mind regarding Pence and Trump. Greg Sargent, writing at the Washington Post, he says, whatever comes of this meeting, he wrote it before the meeting, that storyline, that this was a payoff, will remain operative. The known facts have now established beyond any reasonable doubt, and the only alternative interpretations of that now established basic bargain that makes any sense are actually more nefarious than this one. In Helsinki today, Trump and Putin spoke to reporters before entering their private meeting. Trump predicted that, quote, I think we will end up having an extraordinary relationship, end quote, adding that, quote, getting along with Russia is a good thing, not a bad thing, end quote. Getting along. Trump is a fucking coward among everything else. I've said that before. But getting along with the with the criminal organization that is destroying our system of electing our leaders, among other things. You know, it was just Friday that Special Counsel Mueller indicted a dozen Russian military intelligence office officials. And Trump has not fucking mentioned that one time, not one time. Not only did he fail to bring up Russian sabotage, but he also tweeted this, quote, in blaming only previous U.S. leadership in the current Mueller probe for bad relations with Russia. Oh, wait a minute. I'm sorry, that's not the tweet. I don't have the tweet in front of me. But that was the tweet where the Russian agent that runs this government, Donald Trump, where he said that it's our fault, that we're the ones that fucked up, and that Obama and even go back to Bush, they fucked up, and that it's Mueller's probe into this witch hunt that is causing the bad relationship between the United States and Russia. And as Greg Sargent points out, in doing that, Trump is not merely spinning in a way that benefits him, Trump, but he's also giving an enormous gift to Vladimir Putin by signaling that he, Trump, will continue to do all he can to delegitimize efforts to establish the full truth about Russian interference, which in turn telegraphs that Russia can continue such efforts in the future. And in doing that, Trump is in real time, right in front of our fucking faces, colluding with Russia. And what are we doing about it? What are we doing about it? As Greg writes, it's been widely pointed out that Putin benefits from today's meeting simply because it is happening, just like the case with Kim Jong-un. As the New York Times puts it, the meeting will be a, quote, success, end quote, if it takes place, quote, without any major friction, end quote, which would provide, quote, a symbolic end to Western efforts to isolate Russia over its actions against Ukraine in 2014, end quote. And on top of this, of course, all the other actions Trump is taking to destabilize the Western international order. The trade wars, the attacks on NATO that are obviously designed to weaken it. All of that is a gift to Putin. What the fuck does Putin have on Trump? Man. Sargent goes on, but the point I want to make here is that even if you do not view those steps by Trump as a kind of reward to Putin for helping swing the election, since they could be motivated by all sorts of other things, it is unavoidably clear that Trump's ongoing treatment of Russian electoral interference in particular is essentially a reward for doing just that. Even if Trump does end up taking a tougher line with Russia on international affairs, the point stands. As long as he continues to dismiss the seriousness of the sabotage itself. Jesus. And boy, do I feel like just a total asshole, moron, idiot, fool, freak, ignorant jerk when I think about how I used to talk about several years ago in big praiseworthy terms of Julian Assange and WikiLeaks. Julian Assange, as other people have pointed out, and I used to laugh at, Julian Assange is a Russian agent. He is. He aided and abetted in the treason that Trump so willfully got involved in. It was Putin, the GRU, Assange, and Trump. Oh, and Trump's fucked up criminal family. All of them working in concert to do what they did. And they did it. They did it. Aaron Blake, also writes for the Washington Post, pointed out that the meeting today between Trump and the dictator Putin was just about everything that the critics of that meeting, who advised against it, feared it would become. As Blake puts it, standing alongside Putin, Trump not only downplayed, if not doubted, Russia's 2016 actions, but he also regularly volunteered defenses for Putin and repeatedly blamed both sides for the strained relationship. Trump began the news conference Monday by asserting that Russian-American relations have been worse than ever before. The fuck is he talking about? What about the Cuban Missile Crisis? Oh, that's right, that was the Soviet Union. But then Trump says, yeah, it's been the worst it's ever been. But that all changed 4 hours ago, Trump said. When I sat down and worked things out, I really believe that, end quote. And then he fell back on that filthy weakling position. Yeah, I think everybody's to blame. You know, when everybody's to blame, then no one's to blame. When a reporter asked Putin about Russian interference in the election in 2016, Trump actually volunteered to answer for Putin, practically offering his own defenses of Putin. And he used the time when he was answering the question to assert once again that Democrats were coming up with excuses for their electoral loss. Trump said, quote, "It came out as a reason why the Democrats lost an election, which frankly they should have been able to win, because the Electoral College is much more advantageous to Democrats, as you know, than it is to Republicans," end quote. You know what the fuck he's talking about? Oh, well. Oh, well. And even right there on the world stage, Putin was trolling this ignorant fucker, Trump. The Post writes, with Trump standing next to him, Putin attacked his regular American antagonist, Bill Browder, for his ties to Democrats. A reporter. Those ties to Democrats, you might recall, were part of the package of information offered to Trump's campaign at the Trump Tower meeting with a Putin-aligned lawyer. And the Republicans in this country, the filthy, cowardly, chicken shit, disgusting Republicans, like that sick son of a bitch Jim Jordan and that crazy pointy-headed bastard from South Carolina. You know, I've asked myself over and over and over again, what's it going to take for the Republican Party to rise to its constitutionally mandated responsibilities, including an oath every single one of the fuckers took about protecting and defending the U.S. Constitution against enemies, foreign and domestic. The biggest enemy to the United States right now is Donald Trump. The biggest enemy that the United States has right now is Donald Trump.